Last time I showed you 3 different designs that came out from this session of designing the home studio, and today I will show you the final draft. This is one of the drafts, the final draft that I'm about to show you. So in here we basically kept the whole idea from before and just discard the shelves on the left side. Okay. Let's move on to another. So I really tried to went beyond the box today, out of the box as they say, and move that make art wall with the pegboard all the way to the other wall that's right now here on the left. And the idea here was to, first of all, save this space in that corner, because from the design before, there's this empty space that is kind of awkward, that is just in that corner, and I somehow don't like it. I already have a problem here with that corner, though we still have a nice shelf there from IKEA, but that end corner, I just think that it can be improved. So the idea here in the second draft is to move that table all the way to the corner, and I also was kind of thinking about having shelves that would be kind of, just organically placed on the wooden wall, and the peg wall with the plywood that remained the same. So here I think that the result, watching and looking at this one, is that there would be too much of wood probably, because if I just check the length here all the way from the left to the right, it's about 3 meters, so that's just a lot of wood. And what I also think is that this table loses the contrast in comparison to the first draft when we had white wall behind, and the right wall here at the door is kind of empty and not used, while this main front wall is just like way too overused. Okay, so let's move on to the third draft that actually became the favorite from my wife and also me. And so let me present to you probably the final draft of today. Okay, so coming from the second iteration or the second draft, I thought that it would be still awesome to have that table in that corner and just use the space here better. And I still like the idea of frames, so we kept the frames above the computer, and then I extended that left wooden vertical wall a little bit, so the shelves would be a little bit longer, and so they would not be that awkwardly small as here. So in this case we have a nice length. We can also put them kind of in an organic scheme. And then the right corner, also using the same concept but without anything. Maybe I will be having the Polaroid pictures on this wall along with other pictures as well, so there might be a little like tiny shelves added later on, just as a detail, to put those little photos on this wall to always, whenever I look right, I would see my family and friends and would have nice memories. And then on the left side here, I would be storing the cameras, flowers, Star Wars things, everything that I love. So having loves on both sides whenever you need to procrastinate a little bit when working. And of course the 3 big frames would just be the window to calmness of Japan. And then the peg wall remained it, but I extended the number of it a little bit just now to see. So now it's 4 of those walls from IKEA, and in total I think it's around 1.5 meters, which is quite like a lot, I would say, though I have a lot of things to hang. So I might play with this wall a little bit afterwards just to decide on which setup of those pegboards we will go. Again, having that sign, that neon sign on those vertical wooden piles, I just love that. And the idea here was to either connect it on one side to the other, so this is like make art quote, or this make, and second word art of it might be just, you know, underneath here. So that's up to decide. And of course what I just also tried to prototype here is those you know, hanging lights with that little white bulb that I have here already. I just love that vintage light bulb so much, and so whenever I see it anywhere, you know, coffee shops, I just dream about having it at home. So again, there would be 3 of those bulbs. I have now just one hanging from the ceiling down. This is the basic idea. Of course, there is yet a lot to be decided, but so far I think that this layout in terms of the pegboard, peg wall, then the vertical wooden piles, I think that that's very final. And then in the next step, I think we'll be thinking about lighting details, and we'll see. Every time I work on this project, it is very rewarding. I just love every second spending on it, and that's all thanks to you who keeps me accountable. So thank you for being there. How do you like the final design? I know, right? It is just awesome, and I guess that you can't wait to see when it's gonna be, you know, really built in here. Of course, that is far ahead, okay? Be patient. We will definitely need to figure out the whole construction and how it's gonna be attached to the walls, as well as the electricity, because we have some lights hanging from the ceiling, as well as some lights that's gonna be underneath the shelf probably, and a lot of little details and things still to figure out. So stay tuned, and I will see you in the next one.